Hi everyone, this is Dr. Srikanth from Team MBS Concept. So this is a new approach that we are trying, and I hope so. The response will be good, and so we can take further classes in this particular mode. And I want proper response from your side so that I'll start my discussion about this enzymes part one. And I want you guys to text me, reply me, okay, in the comment box. Okay, so if you're done, we'll start. I hope my voice is clear and the screen is visible. Everything I want to check from your side. So I want a proper response from you in the chat box so that I'll proceed further. Definitely I'll be slow and I make sure that I'm going to give my 100% and make the subject as simple as possible so that we will finish the respective topics within the duration of the session. Yes, I'm getting so many responses. Yes, it's very good. So, shall I start? Done? Please give me done. Please type me done. If you're ready with the screen and the voice and screen. Okay, people said they want disturbance. Maybe in the later sessions, I'll find a way for the disturbance to reduce the disturbance. This is because this is a trial version. I'm trying to do something better. So what I can do is now please do check. Please do check. I have changed few settings. I have changed few more settings. Few more settings have changed. Is there any complaint? Please do. Still, is there any issue with the voice? Should I still increase the voice? Fine, I'm getting messages. Fine, sir. Fine, sir. I have increased the voice. Yes, okay. So I'm getting good responses. So if you're fine, we'll start the proceedings. We'll take over. Okay, done. Whatever modifications that are required in further sessions, I'll try to improve the quality from all the aspects. For now, I'm going to start the session. So the first and foremost thing is I want to thank the entire team of NTS Sculptor who are in this particular peak who are supporting me in this tough situation to make a good amount of stuff that is being exchanged between you and the team. So I'm really thankful to this particular team. So now we have to handle enzymes. I was already discussing that enzymes are are the easiest. Okay, this is one of the easiest topic in the biochemistry, and of course, it is most easiest topic if you are perfect with the topics which are discussed until now. Okay, so I'm going to make you learn few basics related to the enzymes. Okay, so always make a note in your life or in your preparation or in your future in dentistry. It can be any level, whether it's a BDS or whether you're preparing for the MDS examination, final examination, or whether you're going through the MDS, or whether you're preparing for SRship after MDS exam, or whether you're doing anything, whether you start a clinic or open a clinic or work here, statistics in your life are always important. Of course, statistics is a topic which is very, very important in examination point of view in community dentistry. Apart from this, your statistics are important. What you have done today, what you are going to do tomorrow, what is the difference between what you have done today and what you have done tomorrow? Everything is important. Everything should be noted. And I want you guys to do this. So this is what we implement from your side. We have a subject form. We have a daily form, okay, which I'll be sharing onto the group once the discussion is over. So every day, at the end of the day, you have to fill that particular day form, like what you have done, what are the tasks, what are the leftover tasks. At the end of the month, what you have done in this particular month, what you have missed in this particular month. So everything has to be written down so that you will have an analysis that what you are now at and what you are going to be in the future. So for example, if your score is 140 in this particular weekend exam, you have to show an improvement. How much? How will you show an improvement? What is the improvement? And all these answers for all these questions is just statistical analysis. Of course, the website has its own statistical analysis. Apart from that, I want you guys to prepare your own statistics. Like, I want to be here. How you will be there? By increasing or by making your statistics better as you go deep into the preparation. So first of all, the definition of enzymes. Okay. So enzymes are biocatalysts which are synthesized by the living cells in the body. Enzymes are biocatalysts which are synthesized by the living cells in the body. And very peculiar characteristics of enzymes which are included in the definition are enzymes are protein in nature. Most of the enzymes are protein in nature with few exceptions. Those exceptions are RNA. Your RNA is also enzyme. The RNA enzyme is called as ribosome. Okay, so enzymes are proteins with an exception, that is RNA, and rest of the enzymes are heat level. All the enzymes are heat level. All the enzymes are water level. All the enzymes are colloidal, and they contain 16% nitrogen as well. So this is the definition. The important points to be noted are these four. Enzymes are protein in nature with one exception, that is RNA. They are heat level, they are water level, and they contain 16% nitrogen as weight, and they are colloidal. And what is the difference? What is the unique feature of enzyme? For example, if you want to break a protein, the protein should be breakdown of protein can be done with the help of a strong acid at a temperature of 100 degrees, and this process is going to take a minimum duration of some couple of days. Whereas the same protein that is digested in the body with the help of few enzymes at a body temperature which is 37 degrees centigrade within few hours. So that is a magic of an enzyme. So in better terms, or in MDS conquer terms, I can define enzyme as MDS conquer. Okay. So if you want to read or if you want to achieve, it's going to take a long time. it's going to make you to use lots of energy, and you have to go through lots of processes to get success. Whereas if an enzyme like MDS conquer is added to your preparation goes fast, your preparation goes smooth, your preparation goes smart. So that is enzyme. Enzyme is something that is very helpful to make things very simple and fast. So this is the first thing that you have to make a note when we are talking about enzyme. So already mentioned that there are some exceptions. There are some RNA which has this particular catalytic property, but rest of the enzymes are protein in nature. So coming to the next one, that is the chemical nature or structure of your enzyme. So if you take enzyme, so the functional unit, everything will have a functional unit. The universe has a functional unit, that is atom. Your body has a functional unit, that is cell. Your kidney has a functional unit, that is nephron. Similarly, enzyme has a functional unit, which is haloenzyme. So this functional unit has two parts. One is protein part. We are discussing that enzyme is protein in nature. So we have a protein part and we have a non-protein part. So easy to remember, protein part will have P in it. So apoenzyme is a protein part. And the leftover, that is coenzyme. We always talk about coenzymes. Many vitamins act as coenzymes, right? So the coenzyme is a non-protein part. So to hold this protein part and a non-protein part, we need a connection. We need a bond, right? We need a bond. We have discussed that immunoglobulins, multiple immunoglobulins. For example, if an immunoglobulin is a monomer, no issue. If it is a multimer, if it is a dimer, if it is a pentamer, we need something to hold. There in the immunoglobulins, there is someone like J chain to hold. There is chain to hold. Similarly, to hold this protein part and the non-protein part, we need some extra one that is called as prosthetic group. So the prosthetic groups helps in binding the protein part to non-protein part. So thus the prosthetic group or the prosthetic part of a particular enzyme is an integrated part of the enzyme structure. So the enzyme structure, the functional unit. The second one, the functional unit has protein part and non-protein part, and the something called as a prosthetic group which helps in holding this protein part to non-protein part. So if you want to separate this non-protein part, for example, if you want to remove this coenzyme from the enzyme, this can be done by dialysis. Okay, so the coenzyme can be separated by dialysis from the enzyme, while the prosthetic part cannot be separated. We cannot remove the prosthetic part. You cannot remove the prosthetic part from the enzyme, but you can remove the coenzyme, that is the non-protein part. So next very important aspect is your classification of enzymes, and this particular order is very, very important. Okay, so the easy code for this is O T H L I L. Okay, so this is the code. This is the sequence. Like they can ask you like what is class 1? Class 1 is oxidoreductases. They can ask you what is class 6? That is liases. Okay. So similarly, make a note of examples. Make a note of the reactions. I'm not going to discuss much there because they're self-explanatory. So they can ask you, they can give you simply this reaction and they can ask you which class it belongs. Or they can ask you this inner conversion of isomers from A to A dash is an example of isomerase, which belongs to which class. They can ask you it belongs to class 5. Isomerase belongs to class 5. Okay, so this particular classification of enzymes is very, very important. They will ask you the class name or class number. Number is also important. The code is OTHLIL. So there are 2 L's. Don't get confused. There are 2 L's. 4 and 6 both are L's. So just make a note of 4 and 6. They are more stressed and most commonly asked questions. So once we are done with this, there are few important aspects about the factors affecting the enzyme activity. So the first important factor is enzyme concentration. Okay, the first important factor is the concentration of enzyme. So as the concentration of enzyme increases, the velocity of the reaction increases. It's directly proportional. Okay, it's directly proportional. The second one is the concentration of the substrate. So as the concentration of the substrate increases, the velocity increases to a particular level where it remains static. Okay. First one is concentration of enzyme, directly proportional, and second one is concentration of substrate increases the velocity, but at a level it remains constant. And the third important factor is this one, that is the temperature. So what the velocity of an enzyme reaction increases with increasing in the temperature and reaches maximum. You can see the maximum level, that is at 40 degrees centigrade. So the activity is maximum. So that is called as optimum temperature at which the enzyme shows the maximum velocity. The answer is 35 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. And this particular graph is called as bell-shaped curve. The next course is the pH. So effect of that enzyme velocity basing upon the pH value. So as the pH of the enzyme increases, the velocity increases up to the optimum level and where it starts decreases. So the optimum pH at which most of the enzyme shows the maximum velocity, the answer is 6 to 8 pH. However, there are few exceptions like pepsin, which is active at 1 to 2 degrees, 1 to 2 pH, that is gastric pH. Phosphates active at 4 to 5 pH. Alkaline phosphate is active at 10 to 11 pH. So these are few exceptions that you have to make a note. Now we'll talk about few diseases and how the enzymes and their actions are. The first important, there are 2 to 3 enzymes or isomers of the enzymes which are very important in identifying many diseases. And these are the areas where the paper setters pick the questions. And there are n number of questions on this particular area. And this is called as isoenzymes. What isoenzymes? Multiple forms of enzymes, they catalyze the same reaction, are called as isosomes or isoenzymes. But what is the difference? So they differ in the physical and the chemical properties. The basic difference between the CPK 1, 2 and 3 are they differ in the chemical properties and the physical properties, but their mode of action is same. You can see the action of conversion of phosphocreatine to the creatine is the work that is done by CPK, but there are 3 isomers of CPK which are structurally and chemically different but functionally the same. And please do make a note that CPK1 is denoted by 2 subunits, that is BB, which is most commonly seen in brain. So feel that number 1 is always brain. CPK2 is by MB, that is heart. Number 2 is heart, that is brain followed by heart, and the last one is the muscle. Okay, that is number 3, that is MM, that is the skeletal muscle. Okay, 1 is brain, 2 is heart, and 3 is skeletal muscle. So these are the isomers of CPKs. The next one, isomers of LDH. So basically there are 5 isomers of LDH, and this division of isomers of LDH is done on electrophoresis, a method which helps in differentiating the isomers of LDH. So that is LDH1, LDH2, LDH3, LDH4, LDH5. So LDH1 is more positively charged and it is the fastest among the list, whereas LDH5 is the smallest. So if you basically see the structure of LDH, LDH has 4 subunits. 2 subunits are M type and 2 subunits are H type. And M subunit is a basic type and it is a muscle subunit, whereas H subunit is acidic type and it is a heart supply. So LDH1 is most commonly seen in the heart muscles, whereas LDH5 is most commonly seen in the skeletal muscle. So this is the reason why your LDH1 that is present in the heart muscle is generally inhibited by pyruvate. Okay, it is inhibited by the enzyme pyruvate. Hence, this is the reason why the pyruvate is not converted into lactate in cardiac muscle, but it's going to convert into acetyl-CoA and enters the citric acid. Whereas coming to LDH5, which is most commonly seen in the skeletal muscle, which has a minimal effect on pyruvate. And that is the reason in skeletal muscle, the pyruvate is going to convert into lactate. And this lactate goes to the liver for Cori-Cori cycle, which is already discussed in your carbohydrates topic. So make a note, your LDH5 has low Km value for pyruvate, means which has high affinity, whereas LDH1 has high Km value, means which has low affinity for pyruvate. And that is the reason why pyruvate cannot be converted into lactate in cardiac muscle, but can be converted into lactate in skeletal muscle. So how you can differentiate? Basing upon the concentration or the comparison of this LDH values, you can differentiate an individual and differentiate any pathological changes or diseases that are seen in the individual. For example, in a healthy individual, the 2 isomer is more when compared with 1 isomer. That is, LDH2 is more than LDH1. Whereas in the cardiac patient, LDH1 will be more in the LDH2. So by simple comparison of the isomers of LDH, you can diagnose whether an individual is healthy or having some cardiac diseases. And make a note that LDH5 is more in the patients who suffer from liver disease. So I'm just going to have a quick recap. So first is definition of enzyme, which is protein, heat labile, water labile, contains 16% of water as nitrogen. There is one exception, that is RNA, which also has some enzymatic property, but it is not protein. Enzyme structure is functional unit. Functional unit contains protein part and non-protein part. Protein part is apoenzyme, non-protein part is coenzyme. Both the protein part and non-protein part are attached to each other by prosthetic group. Coming to the classification of enzymes, which can be remembered by a word called as OTHLIL. So make a note of all these classification names and the numbers. So number 1 is concentration of enzyme, directly proportional. Concentration of substrate, directly proportional at one point and then it remains constant. Temperature is bell-shaped, and optimum temperature is 35 to 40 degrees centigrade. pH is again a bell shape, and optimum pH is 6 to 8 is the optimum pH. Coming to the CPK value, CPK 1, 2, 3, 1 is more in brain, 2 is more in heart, 3 is more in the skeletal muscle. LDH more positive is LDH1, less slowest is LDH5. LDH1 is more in the heart muscle, LDH5 is more in the skeletal muscle. Healthy individuals will have more LDH2 followed by LDH1, whereas cardiac individuals will have more LDH1 followed by LDH2. LDH5 is more in the liver diseases. Next one, this is the most common area where you can see n number of questions. So enzymes that are involved in the myocardial infarction. So these are the 3 enzymes which are involved in a myocardial infarction, that is CPKs. Next one is AST or SGOT, and the third one is lactate dehydrogenase. You can easily remember among the list of enzymes, the last one is lactate dehydrogenase. That is all. The first one is CPK, the last one is LDH. So not only enzymes which acts as a markers, but there are few other indicators, cardio indicators or muscle indicators can also act as a markers for helps in diagnosis of myocardial infarction. They are cardiac troponins. So you will have I and T, it. Okay, these are the 2 troponins which helps in diagnosis of myocardial infarction. Even myoglobin also helps in diagnosis of myocardial infarction, but it's not specific to the myocardial infarction, but it is common for many other diseases. So see properly in the question, which of the following enzyme is the first one to detect in myocardial infarction? The answer is CPK. Which one of the following indicator that is first one to help in diagnosis of myocardial infarction? Then you have to go for troponins as an answer. Indicators are both enzymes as well as the troponins. Okay, indicator means it can be an enzyme or it can be a troponin. If they are specifying clearly that which of the following enzyme, okay, because these markers are not enzymes. Okay, troponins are not enzymes, whereas the CPK, AST or SGOT and LDH are enzymes. So see clearly whether they are asking the first enzyme or the first marker. First marker will be troponin, whereas first enzyme will be CPK. The last enzyme will be LDH. There is a graph related to this which I will be discussing in the part 2 video with few modifications and corrections in approach. Few people are complaining there is an issue with the voice, few people have many issues. Okay, we'll try to resolve them as fast as possible, and we'll be discussing few more things in part 2, which will be updated on your WhatsApp groups very, very soon. Thank you so much. I'll be posting few questions related to this in the comment box of YouTube so that you can answer them, and rest of the things will be updated in your WhatsApp groups respectively. Please do utilize this time at your best to do some productive work. Thank you all. Signing off, Dr. Srikanth from Team